Hey guys, Damon from GatorTail Outboards here. Today we're going to do a little video on changing the trim motor on a Parker and also refilling the trim while you have it apart. You're going to need a 5mm Allen. You're going to need automatic transmission fluid to refill. Whether or not you're changing the motor, we make two different styles. One is a plastic, one is a metal. The way it's identified is by actually the top of the motor. It's on the store. We picture both of them. A good way to reference that is go in there and figure out which motor you have on your trim unit. We're going to start by removing the two Allen bolts in here. They are 5mm. Remove both of the bolts. You're going to pull the motor slightly to the side. And it's going to pop free. There is a coupling inside. There is a small coupling inside that the motor actually plugs into. As you can see on this particular unit, it is out of oil. We're using automatic transmission fluid. So you're going to spin it clockwise until the cylinder is fully extended and it slightly binds up. Once it does that, you're going to spin it counterclockwise to retract the cylinder. It's going to burp the air back into the reservoir. At this point, you want to refill to the rim, repeat the process. Back counterclockwise. And it will burp all the air as you come back down. It has to be removed off of the engine to fill. The electric motor has to be removed. You cannot fill it on the engine. You do not want to remove the flathead screws for the plungers on either side. So now at this point what we're going to do is we're going to install a new motor. Make sure on the newer style you pay mind to where the wires come off. That is very important. So what you have to try to do is time it back to the coupling. It will push out the excess whenever you put the motor in. You're going to reinstall the Allen screws into the motor, holding it to the body. Tighten the 2 Allen screws back down. It's going to push out whatever fluid it does not need in the body. Wipe it clean. And definitely bench test after reinstalling the motor. So a good rule of thumb is whenever you get this ready to go back on, you want to extend the cylinder just a little. And the reason for that is it makes it easier to turn if it's not back in line. If you do have to turn this ram for whatever reason, you want to turn it clockwise. There is a screw inside. You do not want to turn it counterclockwise. It will unscrew off the plunger sometimes. So that's basically a motor change on a Parker trim and an oil fill. Now it is ready to be installed back on the engine. So just a little reminder, 5mm to remove these 2 bolts. When you retighten these, you want to go to about 125 inch-pounds, and that's inch-pounds. Take mind of where the wire is whenever you're going to remove the motor, because of where it sits in the frame. Remember not to remove these. There's a spring and a plunger on both sides. They're hard to get back correct once you remove them. Whenever you're looking for the motor for your particular trim unit, pay mind to whether or not it's the plastic or the metal housing. Inside the motor, whenever you're actually working the actuator, listen for it to bind up as you're extending the actuator. Counterclockwise brings it back down. That's when you're going to get the air to come out. If you have to tighten the gland nut, you typically want to leave the ram out about 1 inch whenever you tighten up the gland nut. It takes a special tool. There's a few other tools you can do it with. There is an O-ring inside underneath the gland nut. Typically when you tighten the gland nut, you want to cycle the trim up and down and tighten it, every time you go down, get you back on the water, get you rolling.